Good morning, everybody. My name is Lisa. This morning, we're going to be going over your agent website on your office platform. If you guys could just put in the chat box whether you can hear me and see my screen, if you could please put a yes or no. Good morning, Rhonda. Thank you. Great. There's only, I think all of you are on here. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's get started. Anyone else who can join in will join in later. So, for those of you, I hope that you guys have already started getting familiar with your office platform. So, we're going to do a little review of setting up your profile and also like your general profile settings as well as your lead notifications. And we're going to also review going over how to customize your personal agent website. And we will be recording this session, so you will get an email with the recorded version of this webinar. And as always, we have our YouTube channel. So there's a whole library of video tutorials that you can go to. Also, it's under, if you search under Back at You, it should be under Back at You when you search under YouTube. And there's a ton of video tutorials. There's short ones, there's long ones of our regular hour-long webinars, and then there's isolated ones that cover like certain categories as well. So definitely make sure you guys check that out. And also, if you haven't already joined our Facebook group, make sure you join our Facebook group. It is under, if you search, and you guys have gotten all of the emails that have all of the actual links that'll direct you to it. But just to remind you, if you just go to Facebook and you search Office, it's called Office Mastermind, or sorry, Back at You Masterminds. But there is a social media version and there's an Office version. You would go to the Office version, or you can join both, of course. All right, so let's get started. So hopefully you guys are following along with me and you're on your Office dash, your main page. So, in order to get to your website, you are going to come up here to your profile thumbnail and click on your profile. And then I'm going to come down here and click on the website link. And now that it's taken me to my website, in order to edit my website, I'm going to have to come down and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page in the footer, and you'll see a little link that says Sites Login. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to ask for my login, which is your Office login. It's the same. And I'm going to log in, and now it's going to put me in edit mode. So you'll see up here, now you see this black bar at the top of my homepage. That is going to always let you know that you are in edit mode when you see this black bar up here. So now you're kind of, in essence, in the back end editing your website. But one thing that I do want to point out is anytime that you are in edit mode, it will never affect the front end of your website, meaning when people are actually coming to your website, it will not make any, it won't do anything. All it will do is if they refresh or click on a new page and you've made a change, it will update the change live. That's the only thing, and which it won't disrupt anything. So that's just one thing you do want to note. So now that you've logged into your website and you're in edit mode, we are going to talk about the templates and the layouts of your website. So if you go up here, you'll see a little nav bar. So I'm going to select design. And now it's going to pull up all of these different layout designs. So if I scroll through here, there's over 30 designs. So as I scroll through each one, it's going to give me a bullet point list of the features and highlights. And some of them are different than the others. So it is important for you to go ahead and kind of read and see what it's emphasized, because some might be more listing centric, some might be more social media centric. You just might like the aesthetics and layout of one particular design better than another. So I would just go through here if you haven't already and choose the design that you like the best. And so once you have chosen the template that you want, you are going to select update this design. And then now it's updating it. I selected the same one, so it's not going to change. But if I was to go in there and select a completely different one, you'll see that it will change right away. And now it's completely changed the layout. Let me go back to the default. Normally it will always default, I believe, on Design 24, just so that you guys know. So now that I've chosen my layout, I'm going to go in here and I now want to edit all of my different panels and images. So I'm going to go up here to the top right corner and I'm going to select edit page. So you're in your edit mode already when you have this black bar at the top with the nav menu. However, in order to actually go in and edit each panel, I'm going to select edit page. And now you'll see that it has all these little pop-up icons that I can edit each panel. So let's start with the top. Once I select here, it's going to give me the option of editing my images. So that's the first thing I want to do is edit my hero images. So you'll see here that it's on a slide and you can see in the background that the slide is going from image to image. So I can go in and I can edit each image to whatever I want. So if I go in here and I want to change the second image, I'm going to hit change. I can go to my images that I've already uploaded into the platform. I can go to company images if there's company images, and I can go to back at you images, which is going to be your library of stock images. So if you go down here, you have areas, you have a drop down menu so you can search for your area, and it's going to bring up stock images of whatever area that is for you to use. Also, another one with the drop down is going to be your holiday. So you can go down and you can actually hit the drop down and choose which time of the year to select holiday images as well. And then the rest of them are just a bunch of stock images that you guys can use, are readily available. So let's actually select this one. So now that's going to be my second image. Now underneath, not on the first one, but after the second through the sixth slide, if I don't want 6 images necessarily, I can go down here and I can choose to omit that one. So that means that it's going to skip from slide 1 to slide 3. Or I can skip all of them if I wanted to. That one's already set to no. And it's just going to skip to pick 2 images that I have yes. So it's completely up to you how many images you want, or if you want up to 6 images as a slideshow. It's really your preference. Now, if you want to go in and you want to add a video, you can do that as well. So if I want to actually make this a video instead of a slideshow, I'm going to select a video, and then I can choose the video that I want by hitting the blue change button. And now it's going to pull up a library of stock videos for me to choose from. And once I select that video, I can also adjust the brightness as well once it pulls it up. It's taking a little while this morning. Let me try doing that again. There we go. So if I want to go in and I want to change this video to this one, I can select it, and then I can adjust the brightness. If I want it light and bright, or if I want it a little bit darker, if that's the theme of my website, I can do that as well. And then I just am going to hit OK, and you'll see it'll update it automatically. Now, if I wanted to actually go in and add one of my own videos that I have, and I always suggest to any agents to create a YouTube channel if you do not have one. It's a great way to use that platform as a library for any and all of your videos, for agent promotional videos, for property videos, virtual tours, because pretty much every platform out there will accept a YouTube link, and that will create a YouTube link for any of your videos that you've uploaded into the system. So that's just a sidebar, something for you guys to take away. It's always a good idea to create a YouTube channel, and then you always have your videos in one place, and so there you can organize them there. So if I select YouTube video, I already have one selected in here, but what I would do is I would just go to my YouTube channel and I would copy and paste the share link, and then paste it in here. And then it's asking me would I like to mute the video, yes or no. So you can choose to have it actually muted so that it's kind of like this video where it's just motion, or if you're trying to actually talk about yourself as an agent, you can hit no and it will unmute it. So once I've selected this, I can hit OK and it's going to update it live as well. I think this video is a little bit busy. So let's go back and change it. Any questions about the images or the videos so far? No? Okay, great. So now that I have chosen whether I want a video or a slideshow, and guys, honestly, I will say videos are, as you know, get more engagement. So I would, if you want to, I would really suggest best practice is doing a video. The slideshows are great as well, but videos are really good for engagement. And it just looks cleaner and more professional since you have it available to you. Now, if you go over here on the right side, it's going to ask me search form details. So it says, would you like to show the main search bar? So yes, that is your search bar for properties. And then the headline is search homes. Well, I don't necessarily want it to say that. Let's maybe put something like find your dream home, a little more marketable. And then it's asking me search properties for sale or properties for lease. I want for sale property. What type of property would I like to search? I want to stick with residential. What subtype would you like to search? You can do resale or lease or all. And then minimum listing price. If you wanted to set that criteria, you could. And if you would like to show additional search fields. So we're going to say no. And I hit OK. And then you'll see here that it's updated as well. So now that I've done that and I've updated this section, I'm going to go down here to my other panels. So my other panels are essentially the same. You just go to the edit and tap on edit. I can go here and change the hero, excuse me, I can't talk this morning, the hero image by just selecting. I can also upload my own image that I have in my computer if I haven't uploaded it yet. And it's going to give me, it's going to pull up all of my files. Let's just select a picture. And then you can change your title, you can change the description, and this button that is on here, you can change what it actually says and where it goes to. So if I wanted to select a link, I can. If I wanted it to go to a custom page, which we will cover shortly, I can select a custom page here, one of my custom pages, and then that's where that link will go every time they click on it. So if I hit OK, you'll see here's the button right here. I changed the image and I hit search homes now. So if I wanted to change that copy, I could also say looking for your dream home or start here, whatever you want to say to change what that button says, you can do that. Now, make sure that you hit the save button because even though I hit OK here, I have not actually saved everything to my website. So it's not going to publish it the way that I have it or with the changes that I've made until I hit the save button. So if I go in here and I just go back and I refresh, I haven't hit save. So now all of those changes that I just made are gone. So just make sure that when you go back up here, you are hitting the save button and it will only populate the save button once you've made changes. So that's what it'll update. Just make sure that you remember to hit save because I don't want you to go through all that work of changing your whole homepage and then you have to do it all over again. So now if I come down here, any section that I don't want, and you'll see that it's broken up. This section is 4 panels and it's the same thing as well. If I go in and edit, it's going to ask me which panel am I actually editing here. I can change the button for it to say find your dream home now or whatever you want. You can select a link. It can go to whatever link that you want. You can copy and paste a link if you want it to go to something externally. It's completely up to you. You can customize it however you want it. So once I've edited those panels, I can see it right here. Let's say I didn't have enough content to fill out this panel. there's always going to be a little button up here for hide. So if I want to get rid of this panel completely and omit it from my homepage, I'm going to select hide. I'm going to say okay. And now it's completely removed that whole panel. On the front end, you're not going to see this white bar. This is only because you're in edit mode in case you want to pull the panel back. It'll be seamless from image to image. So now if I decide, oh, I actually want to keep that, I just go back here and I select okay, and it puts it right back. Easy peasy. Any questions about editing images or panels so far? You guys are so quiet. So another thing that I want to show you is if you go up here to your advanced on your nav, you can also add your Google Analytics or your Facebook Pixel ID. No questions. Thank you, Jeanette. So if you guys do have a Google Analytics account, this is a great way to connect it and attach it to your website so that you can really pull all of the deep analytics for your website and traffic. So if I go here and I select Google Analytics, you just get your tracking ID and copy and paste. If you do have an account, a Google Analytics account, and you don't know how to find that tracking ID, you can click right here and it's going to give you a little visual tutorial of where you can find it in your account. And then I would just hit save. I'm going to hit cancel. Same thing for Facebook Pixel as well. So this is really a great option if you are doing a lot of advertising on your Facebook business page and you are sending people as a call to action to your website. You can really track on the back end where your leads are coming from and if they're pushing to your website. So if you are measuring a certain advertisement on your actual website and sending everyone there, you can track all of these analytics to see if the money that you're putting behind this advertisement is really worth it. So same thing here. If you want your Facebook Pixel ID, you just copy and paste it. If you do not know where to find it, you're going to click here on this little link and it's going to show you, it's going to have another visual tutorial of how to find your Facebook Pixel ID. And then you would just hit save and then it's connected. So now that we've gone through the images and editing the panels, we are going to go to creating your own custom pages. But before we do that, I do want to show you how to edit the menu. So your menu on your home page, usually it's going to be up here, like and looks something like this, or on this particular layout or template, it's over here on the right. And then you'll see here, since I'm in edit mode, I can go in and edit it from here. And I can move things around. If I wanted to move this to a different section, I can do that. If I want to move it back, whoops, I just push it back here. If I wanted to actually add another, if I wanted to edit this, I can. If I can delete it. If I wanted to add another section to my site menu, I could do that as well. And then I would hit save. Or I can also go up here in my menus tab. Let me just minimize this. I can go up here and I can also edit from my menus tab in edit mode. And then it's going to pull up site menu and I would just select edit. And it's going to bring up the same page as well. So if I wanted to add a custom page, which we'll get to next, I can add the custom page here. And then I'm going to look for the page that I want. And then I'm going to name it of how it's going to look externally. We can say, just put new listings. And then I'm going to decide if I do not put it in a sub menu, it's going to be a main menu item that I would see up here. And a sub menu would be something underneath, which I'll show you in a second. So I want it to be a sub menu of for sale. And then add to menu. So now it's added underneath for sale. So I've just added that page underneath my menu items and I'm going to hit save. And then you'll see here when I click on menu, once I click on for sale, Oh, you have to refresh it. That is the one thing that you do have to refresh when you're editing your menu. So if I go in here and I hit save and refresh, now when I open this, you'll see that it's reflected here, and I can click on new listings and it's going to take me to that page. So now that we are talking about custom pages, let me show you how to create custom pages. So essentially, you have a home page here that you can edit, and that's essentially just a landing page. Your websites are a little more dynamic though, because they do have the about me, which we will talk about. They have my what is my home worth lead capture landing page, which we will also talk about. And then you have your for sale, which they can search all of your properties or office properties in general. They have the more my portal, which we will also talk about. So your page is a little bit more dynamic than just a landing page. However, if you have more content and you really want it to be a reflection of you as an agent and customized so it's not as generic, then you can go up here to pages and create your own content and add it wherever you want underneath your menu on your website. So I'm going to select pages. These are pages that I've already created. So if I wanted to go in and edit them, I can do so from here. If I want to create a new page, I'm going to go up to this blue plus new page button and select. And so now it's giving me layouts and templates to choose from. So there are two types of templates for custom pages that you have options for. You have the standard page templates, which essentially is just giving you different layout options. So you'll have your copy here and an image anywhere you'll see. So it'll give you different layouts. Like if you wanted to do a bunch of listings, you could do that here. This is just giving you more options for images and copy. This could be like a newsletter. It's completely up to you, but there's several different types of layouts, and you would provide whatever content goes on here, the images and the copy. Now, the one thing that I do want to notate is that on your standard pages here with these templates, as soon as you add it, it will stay the same. It will not be updated unless you make any updates or changes, and that page will just stay static wherever you put it under your menu. Now, if you come down here to your dynamic page templates, essentially any of these layouts or templates are actually pulling information from the MLS that you're connected to. So that means that this information is being updated in the same amount of time that all of your listings are, which is virtually constantly. Probably about every 5 to 10 minutes, it's getting a push with new information from your MLS. So on here, you can choose any of these templates. You still would have to put some of your own copy, and you can add images as well. But any of these portions where it's pulling MLS information, it's going to be updated automatically. So let's go in here and choose the listings template. And I'm going to select next. So now anything that is marked red obviously is a required field. So I'm going to name it, let's say it's a townhome search, townhomes. Page title, which you can make different if you want. If you want to add another description, you can do that as well. If you want to add a meta tag, and for those of you that don't know what meta tags are, a meta tag is essentially just snippets of text that describe a page's content. So if you go to Google and you do a search for anything and you see the little description or the little paragraph after each search result, essentially it's not necessarily visible on the front end. The meta tags don't appear on the page itself, but only in the page's source code. And they're really essentially just little content descriptors that help the search engines explain what the web page is about. So it's just a way of thinking it as categorizing it as if you were in the library and you have your little cards that you pull up to organize all of the books. It's the same thing, only digitally. And that is my very basic and generic explanation of meta tags. So if you are not familiar with meta tags and you don't want to add them at this time, you can either leave this blank or you can click on not at this time. Also, you can always go back and add them later. So if you are intrigued by the idea of this and you really want to do a little more research and eventually add a meta tag, you can always come back and add a meta tag to your custom page. Also, if you want to add to the menu, which I just showed you how to add to menus, you can do so as well. But my suggestion for creating custom pages is create the page first. Make sure that you have everything on there you want, the content, the layout, etc., and make sure it's how you want it to look before you add it live to your site, because you can always go in and add it later. So I'm going to leave it blank, or I can check it off not at this time. And then there's a registration. So basically what this is a pop-up that comes up when they go to the page for a lead capture. So we're going to put either required, yes or no. So let's just say yes, so I can show you how to edit this. And essentially there's 3 different types of frequencies of the pop-up for the lead capture. So if you click down here, there's nag, offer, and force. So nag is essentially, I can decide, maybe every third time they come to this page, it'll have the pop-up to remind them, hey, let's fill out this registration information. Or I could decide maybe every 5th time. It's completely up to you. But nag just essentially means it's going to remind them gently on that whatever time that they come to the visit that page. So if it's if you want it to be every time, you would put 1. If you wanted it to be every other time, you would put 2. It's completely up to you. Also, you have offer. So offer means essentially it comes up once and that's it. And then you choose when you want it to come up. If you want it to come up on the first visit, on the second visit, but it will only come up once. And after that, if they don't fill it out, they don't fill it out. The last one is the obvious, is forced. So on this one, they will not be able to click onto the page unless they filled out the registration. So those are your options as far as the registration. And it's just a lead capture page to create a lead to come to your leads. You can also decide what you want the lead source to be, or where you want it to go. And then I would just hit yes, or I would hit select OK. And then now it's going to populate the template of my page so I can go in and edit. So you'll see up here, I'm still in my edit mode, and now I need to select edit page so I can go in and edit all of these sections or panels in my page. And this is where it's pulling up all of the MLS information. So this will always be updated live, or virtually live, I should say. And then they can do a search here, and I can since I'm specifying this is on townhomes, I can actually go in and put the parameters for this search. I can go in here and edit my image. Let's choose an image up here. Let's see. Let's find something that's a little townhomey. Now, here it's always going to be the lorem ipsum filler copy. And that is because we want you guys to put in your own information. If we filled out everything, chances are you would probably leave it. And we really don't know necessarily what content you want to put in there. So that's why we have this here. You will always have to go in and edit. And I can put in pretty much everything, anything that you want. Check out these beautiful townhomes. I could spell. You can also add a hyperlink. I'm just gonna, let's do back at you. And then I'm going to select open in a new window. You always want to, where you see that the target is to open in a new window, because you don't want to direct people away from your website. So always make sure that you select new window. Otherwise, it's going to click open in your website away from your website instead of opening up a new tab. And a lot of times people are confused and they don't know how to get back to your website, and they don't know how to hit the back button. So it's just better to always have the option of opening it up in a new window. You're going to hit OK. And then now I have a hyperlink. I can also add images. I can add a table. You can pretty much do whatever you would want to do, like it's a Word document. And then I'm going to hit OK. And you'll see here now it's actually added my copy. I can add a YouTube, I can add an RSS link, I can also add Yelp reviews. The Yelp reviews that I do want to show you, they are not your own Yelp reviews, they are Yelp reviews for that area. So if I go in here, I can select, okay, I want home services, let's do food or shopping or we already have restaurants here. Anything that you want, you can select here and it's going to give you the reviews for that area in Yelp. So I hit OK, and now it's pulling that up for me. So I can go to home services, local services, nightlife, restaurants. It's a great little add-on or widget. Any questions so far about the custom pages? No, you guys are so quiet this morning. Just making sure you guys are there. I can also add these optional listing stats. Still here. Thanks, Ron. Just checking in on you guys. So if I go up here and I select yes, I would hit OK. And now it's going to pull up the stats of the search. What is the click here link? Where does it go? Jeanette just asked. Where do you see the click here? Oh, right here. Oh, that is the link that I just added. That was a hyperlink, and I just added it to put back at you. See how it opens up into a new window? I just put our website in there. Does that answer your question? So you can put whatever you want as a hyperlink. It just makes it a clickable text that takes you to an actual new page. Does that answer your question, Jeanette? Oh, yeah. I just put back at you just to show you as an example that you can choose whatever you want. If you wanted it to go to an actual property website. So when you have your property websites, if you were, say you were featuring a particular townhouse that you had as a listing and you were filling it out here, then you could actually use your property website, which we will go over in a different webinar, and select the link here and say, check out this townhome or whatever verbiage that you want, and then just add the link for that property. Does that make sense? So it's really whatever you want. It's just the capability of adding any hyperlink into this box right here. You can also add images as well if you wanted to, and tables. It just works like a regular Word doc. I don't know why this is still processing. Let's cancel. And don't make the mistake that I just made and do all of this and not hit save and hit refresh. So don't do what I'm doing. Do as I say. So I'm going to go back to edit page. And Michelle asked, where would you add reviews and how do you add them? Are you talking about for your own reviews or for the Yelp reviews that we just did here? Your own. So that would be another great way to add a hyperlink. So you take your link for your Yelp page and you would literally just say whatever you want it to say in the copy for them to link, or you can say, check out my Yelp reviews, and then have that as a hyperlink to your Yelp page. So that's a great way to use the hyperlinks. And you would just literally connect it to your own Yelp page. Does that help answer your question? Yeah, so you would copy and paste. So let me go back. Let me hit OK here. So if I'm going, why did that not? So if I go back here and I wanted to add my Yelp reviews, I could just say, check out my Yelp reviews. And then I highlight this copy. I select that little hyperlink, and then it would just go to Yelp. So if you would just copy and paste the actual link, that's the direct link to your Yelp page, and put it here. But since I don't have one right now, I'm just going to put yelp.com. And then you always want to make sure you open in a new window, select OK. And then now if I click on this, it's going to take me to Yelp. Easy peasy. So you just copy and paste. If you have your actual page here, like let's say for instance, let's just find one and click on it. My computer's a little slow. So now I'm on this page. You would come up here and then you would just copy and paste into this link. So let's go back. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Go back to edit. So I would go back here, go to the hyperlink, and then I'm going to paste. Sorry, I'm on an Apple and I usually use a PC. So I'm using the wrong copy and paste. There we go. Whoops. Let me get my life together over here. Okay, so now let me copy and go back. And then I would paste. I'd hit OK. So now when I click on here, it's taking me directly to that page. Does that help? So you're literally just going up to the URL and copying your page on your own Yelp. And you can put that anywhere. So when we're going to get into the About Me, that's going to be towards the end of the webinar in a couple minutes. I'm going to show you another place where you could put your Yelp reviews as well. Okay, so now we're here. Let's go back and edit the picture. Just my reviews are on Zillow or just emailed to me. Can I copy from them? I don't quote me on this, and I will find out after. I believe that you can pull your Zillow reviews. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. Let me confirm that. If you can just type in your email address in the chat, and then once I'm done with the webinar, I will find out if you can pull those through automatically. If not, you can also there should be a page on your Zillow that shows just your reviews, and then you could pull that URL and create a hyperlink. But I want to say that you can possibly pull them through directly. I just need to confirm that. So if you want to type your email address, I can find out for sure, and then I will email you later on this afternoon to let you know, if that helps. Okay, so let's make sure. Perfect. I will make sure that I get back to you this afternoon, and I will find out for sure as far as pulling that through directly. So I'm going to hit save here. Oh, let's do the stats. Would I like to show listing stats? Yes. And this little optional menu here is really just adding menu onto this page. So this isn't your main menu. This is the default. So you would actually edit, like if you wanted to put a menu within this custom page, then you would add it here. I don't know why this is still processing. Let me hit save. And then now we can hit refresh. It must be a bug or something. So now that we're happy with our custom page. There we go. Here are the stats. So now it's pulling up the stats for all of the listings that I have pulling through here. Now that I have everything on my page, I'm happy with my page. I hit save. I've created my custom page. So the one thing that I do want to notate to you guys is that when you do create these pages and you've saved them, they will not show up on your website until you have added them to your menu. So virtually, they're just sitting in the cyber abyss of the internet until you have added them to your menu. So I have this called townhomes. So now that I've created this, I'm going to go up to menus, go to site menu and hit edit. And then I am going to go to my custom pages. I'm going to find my townhomes page that I just created, and I'm going to call it townhomes because that's the obvious. And then I want it to be a sub menu of for sale. Add it to menu. Now you'll see that it's added to my for sale menu, and I hit save. Now my custom page is live with my site. Does that make sense for you guys? I just want to make sure you don't create the custom page and then you're wondering, where is it? When you go look on the front end of your website, you have to make sure you add a custom page to your menu for it to show up on the front end of your website. Otherwise, it's just sitting dormant. Okay. Any questions about the custom pages before we do a little recap? Okay, great. So just to kind of review what we went over very briefly before we go to leads and lead captures, essentially we started off in your dashboard. In order to get to your websites, you click on your profile thumbnail, you come down to your website link and click on that. Let's pretend that we're not in edit mode. And then once you get on your website, you're going to scroll all the way down to your site's login, put in your user ID, log in, and then you come back to edit mode where you can hit edit page or edit any of your panels. We went through the images. You can select the images here. You can choose from your computer, from the stock images. You can do a video. You can do YouTube. You can fill out any of the information here and customize it. And then you're going to select OK. Make sure you are hitting that save button, as I have showed you what will happen if you don't. And then you can also omit any of the panels that you want by just clicking hide. And then we also went into the advanced section where you can add your Google Analytics or your Facebook Pixel ID. We also went and reviewed how to edit your menus and how to add your custom pages to your menus. And then we reviewed the pages and how to create your pages. So any pages that I've created here, I can edit or delete from here, or I can add a new page. And then I also explained to you guys the difference between standard page templates, and I'll just click on this so you can see it, and dynamic. Standard is creating your copy and images. And then the dynamic is actually pulling information from your MLS. Oh, because I named it. So this, as you can see, is literally just a blank slate of whatever you want to add, which is a little bit different than the dynamic, which has a built out template and is pulling things through MLS. So now that you've created your custom pages, there are 3 main ways to capture leads from your website. So the first one we're going to review is your home value page, home value landing page, and that is in your menu on all of your websites. So I'm going to go to what is my home worth, and this is going to pull up, and anyone can go in here and edit an address. And it's going to create a report. And then now it's going to pull up with the pop-up for the lead capture. I'm going to fill out the name. I'm considering selling, and then I'd hit view report. So as soon as they select this, it's going, and as you can see, it's actually asking for a first and last name. As soon as they select this, it goes to your leads and notifies you that you have a new lead. It's going to pull up all of this information with your information over here on the right. They can also contact you as well. And then it'll pull up all of the information and comp information on this particular property. Any questions about that? Okay. So the second page, oh, and one thing I do want to notate that's really important. Let me click out of this. When you go to your home value page, this is really a great lead capture that you can use anywhere. So you could take this actual copy and paste this link into your email signature. You can put it, I mean, you could essentially, you could put it on social media, on your Facebook business page. It's really a free, I mean, it's just generating free leads. Anyone that wants to fill it out or that's interested, and then all of that lead information will generate automatically into your CRM. So I would definitely make sure that you bookmark this page and use it wherever you can, because it's just a great way to generate leads, and it just comes automatically and saves into your CRM. So it's not a lot of work. It's pretty much an easy button, and then you just follow up with them. So the other lead capture that we're going to talk about is your portal. So if I go back to your homepage, on your homepage for your agent website and your actual brokerage office website, they're gonna have this option up here to log in or create portal account. So what that does is it creates essentially a website. Let me log out so you can see what it looks like. They can go in here and create an account, and it'll do leads for them. It will track open houses for properties that they're looking at, or give them notifications on new to market, any image changes for any of the properties that they're interested, or status change or price notifications. And then they can choose what they want to be notified on. They can choose to have searches sent to them. They pretty much can choose whatever they want. And then they would just create an account here with a user ID and a password, and then select the notification and parameters of the properties that they're looking for. You also can create those as well that we covered in the CRM and also the listings webinar. So that is a way that you can create a lead capture. It will also notify you automatically once they've created a portal for themselves. Once they are also logging in as well, it'll tell you here on your dashboard what your leads are doing. If they've visited, here's they saved a property, here's a website visit, here's where they logged into the portal. So it's going to kind of tell you their behavior on your dashboard at a glance. So now that we're back here, that is the second way that they can create leads that are going through your website. And lastly, the third way is the good old property search. So if they come to your page and they search for properties, as soon as it pulls up, there's several ways that you can get a lead capture when they're searching for properties. So if I go in and I'm a client or a potential client, I can go here and look at it and say I'm interested in this property. When they pull up this property, there's going to be several ways for you to get a lead capture. If they're interested, they're going to fill out the contact card here and hit submit, and it'll always have your information here, whether you are the listing agent or not. If they want to share this property because they think it's a beautiful house and they like it and it's their dream home, they can put it on social, they can email it to someone, they can text it to someone. It will actually track who they have emailed and texted this property to. So not only are you getting one lead, but potentially two leads as well. So that's the second place where you can get a lead capture on here. Also, if you scroll down to the bottom, you have a showing request here as well. So if they like this property so much and they don't want it to go, go to someone else, they want to set up a showing. They're going to fill out this information and then you're going to get a lead notification right away. And so this will show up as a showing lead request. This one will show up as a contact lead. This one will show as a share lead. So it will tell you in your leads what type of lead it is and where it's coming from. So you will always know. So if I come in here, so those are essentially the three ways that you are getting lead captures from your website. So that's why it's so important for you guys to set up your websites as quickly as possible and really start pushing out the URL for that. Wherever you can put it in your email signature, which we'll cover in a minute, on your social media, anywhere that you can share your website, you should be doing that because you have all of these opportunities for lead captures on your website. So you have the home value page that we covered, which is in your nav, on your nav bar. What is my home worth? You have the portal that they can go in and create their own portal. That is something you could go in and actually explain to your clients, hey, check out. That's something you could actually post. If you're posting your website, you can say, check out my website. You can go in and create your own home searches and notifications, and people will probably do that. So now, and then finally, you have the property search, which if they search through on your actual website, it's going to notify you if they do any of those things on the actual property. So any questions about the leads? Okay, good. Okay, so now we are going to cover our last section, which is the profile setup and lead notifications and settings. So we're going to come back to your office dashboard, but I do want to show you if you're on your website and you might have clicked off of your office dashboard, you can always get back to your office dashboard by coming to the bottom. Here's where you logged in to edit your website. Here is where you would just click to go back, and it'll take you directly to your home dashboard. Let me get rid of some of these links. Okay, so now that we're back to your home dashboard in Office, we're going to set up some of your profile settings. So instead of clicking on website, you come down here and you select profile, and it's going to open up in your details page. So the first thing you want to do is fill out as much of this general information as you can. It's always important. You also want to come over here and you can actually put in the links to all of your social media pages. And I will show you when you are on your About Me page, it will show up on there as well. So fill out wherever you have, if you have a LinkedIn, if you have a blog, your YouTube channel, any of these that you want, your Instagram. In here is where you could add your Yelp as well, Michelle. So you can put your Yelp link here and it will pull up as a Yelp icon. But if you want to send them directly to your reviews, I'm going to scroll down here to this section that's called profile. So you could actually fill any of this out. And if you wanted to add your Yelp reviews and send them directly just to the review or specific review or anything in particular, you can put the link in here as well if you just add the hyperlink. So same thing as on the custom pages, you would just highlight it and add the hyperlink. And then you put in the URL that you want. But if you actually add your link up here in the social media section, I will show you where it goes. And it's going to go in the same place where your profile. And this is essentially your About Me. It's your bio. And as you can see, it really just needs to be like a couple paragraphs. It shouldn't be more than that. It should just be explaining who you are as an agent. If you're a newer agent, you can talk about whatever you did in the past professionally that's applicable. Like if you worked at a bank, that's great experience for being an agent. If you did customer service for 15 years before you became an agent, that's great experience as well. So anything that's applicable, if you're a seasoned agent and you've been in the business for 20 years, this is a great way to talk about what you specialize in. Anything that you want. I always make a suggestion to agents as far as with bios. Write out your bio, save it on a Word doc, put it in your keep it in your files so that you always have it on hand, because there's always going to be several places where you are going to need a bio. You can put it on your Facebook business page, you have it on your website, you could have it in your listing presentations under your resume section. There's several places that you would want to keep your bio and insert it. So if you just take the time to write it out and then update it, maybe every now and then, depending how frequently you want to make changes to it. But I would definitely, at least take a glance at it annually and see if there's anything that you want to update. So once you have entered your bio, you're going to come here and you're going to hit save. Again, make sure you hit save. If you don't, it is not going to save. So I want to show you where it shows up on your actual website. So if you go here and you select the About Me, this is going to be your information here where everything shows up. So if you see here, this is where the little icon is for all your social media. So if I was to put in Yelp, it's going to have the little Yelp icon that will click and go directly to your page with your reviews on it. If you wanted to add the link here, you can do that as well and just add a hyperlink. It's completely up to you. But this is the About Me page. I can't stress enough how important it is to fill out this information, because you don't want them going to this portion of your website and then it's completely blank. So fill all of your information out. Anything that you put here in the social media is going to show up right here at the top, and they can click on it and it takes them directly to your page. So that's all they need to do is click on that little link. Any questions about that? Okay, perfect. So now we're going to go back to your profile section and finish editing that. So we're in your details page. We scrolled all the way down towards the bottom to fill out your profile. And then under here at the very, very bottom is where you would customize your email signature. So if I hit custom, I can really just create any email signature that I want. If you already have an email signature that you want to copy and paste into here, you can do that as well. If you selected this button on the email signatures, you can also choose from any one of our email templates here. And then I would just make sure all of my information is there. Hit OK. And now all of my information is there. I hit save, and now it's just going to update my email signature. You want to make sure, again, with the bio and the profile or the email signature, these are things that you want to fill out immediately. This email signature is going to go on all of your auto replies from your platform. Any emails that you send out will add your email signature to it. So you definitely want to make sure that you set this up right away, along with all your general information and your About Me. And then lastly, what we're going to talk about is your lead notifications. So if you come up here to preferences, we were on the details page. So all I'm doing is coming over here to the main menu and selecting preferences. You'll see right here is notification. Here is where your lead notifications are, right here at the top. So by default, it's always going to have always 24/7 so that you're receiving your notifications. And these are all of your notifications, which I do suggest setting up all of them, not just your leads, but here's where your leads are. I can go in here and I can select never, which we probably don't want to do that. Or I can select use my office hours. Now, in order to set up my office hours, I scroll all the way down to the bottom of the preferences page. And here's where I'm going to set up your office hours. And by all means, it does not have to be literal where you're actually in the office from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. This is really where you just want to accept leads. So if I want to say my office hours are till 11 p.m., because that's when I want to keep collecting leads and get notified until, then I would put 11 p.m., not 6 p.m. So it's completely up to you. You set the parameters and the times that you want. And then once you've selected that and you've saved it, then when you come up here and you choose my office hours, it's going to apply to whatever you have below. Any questions about the profile or the lead notifications or just the notification settings in general? No? Pretty easy. So that we are closing right at the hour. I know it's a lot of information. The website is the fun part, setting it up. Do make sure that you guys go in and play around and get all of those things set up. I know that it's just a lot of information to learn in general, but once you start really going in on a daily basis, I promise you, you'll familiarize and you'll be a pro in no time. And just to remind you guys will be receiving a copy of the webinar via email today. And just try and take at least an hour during each week or every other couple days to kind of just go around and peruse and start pushing buttons. You can't break anything. Rhonda, I'm hoping it will get easier. It will, I promise you. And I don't know if any of you are like me, but I know it's hard when you're watching webinars if you're not really actually doing it. The more you go in and actually hands-on start playing with everything, that's probably the best way that you're going to learn. That's how I learn. That's how a lot of people learn. It's just harder to watch people do stuff until you start actually doing it. And then next week, we will be doing the review on the CRM. And are there any last questions? We've had our setup for a while, but I've learned. Good. I'm glad that I can help. And it always happens because, usually when you guys are setting up and we do the webinars, sometimes it's kind of like feeling like you're a deer in headlights because it's so much information coming at once and it's hard to digest all of it because there really isn't anything they didn't think about on this platform. So it covers the gamut of functionality and it's just a lot to learn. It's a lot. So that's why we do these follow-ups to go through every section of each webinar, is really to just make sure that we have the support for you guys to learn and engage in the platform, because it really is a great platform. Once you guys start using it, it's a game changer and everything is in one place for you guys. So if there's not any other questions, thank you guys so much for joining today and have a wonderful, wonderful week. And hopefully you guys will join next week when we cover the CRM.